Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what I think are the new best sniper supports. After the last patch, there's kind of been a shift in the overall sniper support meta, and that's what I plan to cover in this video. If you're curious about attachments and the best builds for these guns, make sure you go down below in the description to grab them, because that's where I'm going to be putting them. So to begin, I'm going to talk about Caldera sniper supports, and then after that, I'm going to talk about sniper supports for Rebirth Island. At number 1, I'm going to have the Cooper Carbine. At number 2, the Volks. At number 3, the Vargo 52. Number 4, the CX9. And number 5, the Bullfrog and PPSH from Cold War. The reason I have all of those guns on that list is because they're really, really good in the mid-range, and that's exactly what you want for your Caldera sniper support. It does work a little differently on Rebirth, but I'm going to touch on that later. The main reason you want a super good gun in the mid-range for Caldera is because snipers just aren't that effective anymore in the mid-range with all of the nerfs and how they've changed snipers. The hard part is going to be figuring out what sniper support you should use from that list. If you're a more conservative player, you want to focus on using an assault rifle like the Cooper, the Vargo, or even the Volks. But if you're a more aggressive player and you're pushing things a lot, you're going to want something like the CX9, the Bullfrog, or the Vanguard Kohler PPSH, sorry. But that's going to be the important part. The Cooper Carbine is probably the best overall sniper support for the average player, but that doesn't mean it's the best sniper support for you. I'm an extremely aggressive player, so an SMG like the CX9, the Bullfrog, or the PPSH is going to be a little better in my hands as a sniper support than something like the Cooper or Vargo. However, I play with a lot of people who don't push as often as I do, and they like to kind of hang back, and for them, I'd recommend something like the Cooper or Vargo, which really excel in the mid-range. The SMGs I listed are going to be a little better between 0 and 10 meters than they are in the mid-range, and that's where you really have to understand your play style. Because in reality, there is not one perfect sniper support for everyone. I would say the Cooper Carbine is probably going to be overall the best for most players, but when you really look at it, there is no perfect sniper support. It's not like talking about a close range SMG. It's not like talking about a long range AR. What you do as an individual is going to drastically change the sniper support you want, and that's something a lot of people don't factor in, and that's why I'm talking about it so much, because you really have to consider it. I personally spend a lot of time watching other YouTubers and watching their videos, and I get a little upset when watching sniper support videos because people will just talk about one gun as this ultimate sniper support, when in reality, that's just so wrong. And that's also why I have this A tier list of sniper supports. At number 1, I'm going to have the Ram 7. At number 2, the MP7. At number 3, the Milano. And at number 4, the Grav. I just want to make it clear, once again, that I don't think there's any one best option for any player. And that's why I'm putting so many different options out there. I believe all of these guns are viable as sniper supports, and you should be willing to try out almost any of them. And you should also just be willing to try out any other sniper support you have a feeling might be good for you. As I said before, there is no perfect sniper support for every player, and you're going to have to find the right one for you as an individual. So having said all of that for the Caldera sniper supports, we're going to transition now into Rebirth sniper supports. At number 1, we have the Type 100. At number 2, the Bullfrog. At number 3, the Cold War PPSH. Number 4, the CX9. And last but not least, the Cooper and Vargo 52. As you can hopefully tell, these sniper supports for Rebirth Island are better suited for up-close engagements rather than the mid-range, and that's why I have it listed this way. 9 times out of 10 on Rebirth Island, you're going to want a sniper support SMG versus an assault rifle. Now, this isn't going to apply to every player, this isn't going to be a universal thing, but more often than not, you're going to be better off running an SMG sniper support than an assault rifle. Now, it's also going to be very dependent on your playstyle, but it's also going to be extremely map dependent. On Rebirth, you're going to have way more engagements between 0 and 10 meters than you are between 10 and 25 meters, and that's the opposite of Caldera, and that's what you have to factor in. That's why I would also really recommend using the Type 100. If you build it in the way that I have down in the description, you're going to find that this thing is a melt machine between 0 and 10 meters, and is probably going to be your best bet for an aggressive sniper support on Rebirth. Now, I would really not recommend running it on Caldera unless you're just a super aggressive player and you're really confident in your quickscoping ability, but on Rebirth, I would 100% recommend using it. The recoil is going to make it a little difficult to use beyond 15 meters, but between 0 and 15 meters, the time to kill is going to beat essentially every sniper support in the game by so much that it's 100% worth using. And that's what I mean by you have to really understand your playstyle, you have to understand the map, and all of these factors. It's not just simple as, oh, this gun is amazing, look at the time to kill, blah, 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 blah. Like, I really genuinely hate when I watch a lot of these YouTube videos and people aren't offering explanations on why a gun's good, they aren't talking about it like that, and they just think that every gun applies to every playstyle. That's not how it works. The guns that I use are probably not going to be the same guns you use, and you shouldn't just use the exact guns that streamers use because maybe they have better recoil control than you. Maybe their playstyle is just so different that the guns they use aren't going to apply to your playstyle. There are a million different factors, and the whole thing I want to get across is people have to be aware that not every gun is meant for every player. You have to find the right gun for yourself, the right gun for the maps that you play, and the right gun for your playstyle, and that's something I really want to get across in these videos. For example, when it comes to Rebirth Island, I'd heavily recommend using the Bullfrog or PPSH from Cold War. I think when you factor in the ease of use with recoil, the overall damage, the mobility, even the massive magazine that both guns have, it's going to really make it the best for the average casual player. Whereas I think the Type 100 is going to have a little too much recoil and be a little unenjoyable for most people. I do think it's worth trying out, and I think if you can use the recoil, if you can handle it, it's going to be absolutely amazing. But I'm not saying it's just going to be the best pick for every player. They also unfortunately nerfed a lot of old meta sniper supports. Guns like the Milano, the Lapa, Kohler AK, and XM4 were all meta. I've talked about them a ton as top tier sniper supports in prior videos, and right now, after the nerfs, they just aren't that good anymore, and it's kind of a little upsetting. I'm not saying it's the worst thing, I don't think it's actually that bad, but I do know some people, they're going to be using guns like the Kohler AK, and they're going to be wondering why it just doesn't feel as effective, and that's why. A lot of these guns, they're getting nerfed, they're getting changed, and you have to be aware of it, and that's why I'm always trying to keep people updated whenever there is a patch like this. The other thing that people have to consider with all of this is that the meta will keep evolving and changing, and we're going to have to see how a lot of these things play out. For example, the new SMG right now that they added, it's a burst SMG. It looks like it could be extremely good. It looks like it could be a really good sniper support, but right now it has a bug where if you go into sprint or you get done plating, you can't pull up the gun for a long time, and it's just one of those small little things that's going to stop it from ultimately being meta, and I can't recommend it because of that. However, in a week or two, when that's fixed, it could easily be a top tier sniper support, and so maybe I'll have to talk about it again, etc, etc. As you guys always know, the meta is always evolving, and I'm always just trying to keep people up to date and help them actually know what are the best guns to use. I'm going to start wrapping up this video, and I do just want to say that I'm going to start opening up a Discord server for people to ask me about builds, if they want to play, just whatever. So if you want to invite for that, let me know. I'll be posting it on my channel and just in the description of my videos and all of that. And I also do plan on starting streaming a lot. I'm going to be getting to a lot of these viewer reacts videos and all of that later this week, so I hope you guys enjoy those. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it helps you find the best sniper support for you and your playstyle, as I said like 6 or 7 times in this video, and I hope to see you around the channel in the future. Hope you have a good day. It's been Ryan. Peace.